Students, when you enter, please look at the sign and have a seat, please. Excuse me, students. Excuse me, students. I need your undivided attention. I'd like to welcome the veterans of Brenham High School. Thank you for your services. Guys, it's a very important program, so I need your attention. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to today's program. Thank you for attending. We are gathered here today to honor our service members and remember their sacrifices and the courage it takes to defend honor, duty, in our great country. Veterans, on this day, we honor you, our heroes, as we remember your achievements, courage, and dedication. And thank you for your service. Will all veterans in attendance today please stand as you are able? Thank you. Your dedication to our country allows us to be here and enjoy our nation's freedoms. In light of all that we see happening in conflicts worldwide today, we gratefully remember the many ways that our servicemen and women continue to keep our nation safe wherever they may be.
Please stand for the presentation of our colors by Brenham's High School JROTC. As a sign of respect for all that the flags represent, please remain standing as long as the flags are on stage. Please remain standing for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, and now for the Texas pledge. And now for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please remain standing and welcome our BHS choir as they sing the national anthem.
I haven't used this camera yet.
Please be seated. Our Brenham High School band will now play the Armed Forces Medley. Our Brenham High School band will now play the Armed Forces Medley. Veterans, please stand as you are able as your branch is being played. At this time, we want to recognize and honor our dedicated teachers and administration at Brenham High School who are also veterans. Their commitment to education is matched only by their service to our country, embodying the values of leadership, resilience, and integrity. They not only inspire us in the classroom, but also share invaluable lessons from their experience in the military, enriching our school community. We're grateful for their sacrifice and proud to have such remarkable role models shaping our futures. Thank you for your service and all that you do. As we call your name, please stand. Students, please hold your applause until I've called each veteran's name. Captain Jeffrey Bass, Mr. James Cano, Mr. Noe Castellanos, Mr. Stephen Henry, Mr. Michael Pennywell, Sergeant Major Carlos Murcia, Mr. Robert Reyes, Mr. Scott C., and Mr. Brandon Williams. We sincerely apologize if we missed anyone in our naming of the BHS veterans. Again, thank you for your service and being a role model for all the students here at BHS.
One veteran at BHS who inspires members of the student body on a daily basis is Captain Jeffrey Bass. Captain Bass served for 22 years in the United States Marine Corps, both as an enlisted Marine and an officer. During his enlisted duty, he worked as an infantry and reconnaissance Marine, with one 2-year tour as a drill instructor. He was selected to the Marine Officer Enlisted Commissioning Program, which offers opportunities for enlisted Marines to become officers. Upon graduation from Texas A&M University in 2004, Captain Bass was commissioned as an officer in the Marine Corps. During his time as an officer, he served primarily as an intelligence officer with several deployments worldwide, including multiple tours and combat zones. Upon retiring due to a parachute accident in 2014, he became the senior Marine instructor at Brenham High School. Please join me in welcoming our honored speaker, Captain Jeffrey Bass.
Good morning. All right. Good morning, students, honored guests, and fellow veterans. I'd like to thank Mr. Watts specifically over here for asking me to speak today. I'm going to jump right into this. I got another speech right after this. So, on a historical note, Veterans Day is a day to thank service members for their service, acknowledge their contribution to national security, and recognize the sacrifices of all who served. It is also a day to honor the families of veterans. The holiday originated in 1919 as Armistice Day, the first anniversary that ended World War I. In 1938, it was a legal holiday and dedicated to world peace, and in 1954, the word armistice was changed to veterans. That's about all the history I'm going to cover today. I want to talk more about what being a veteran is to me and what an honor it was to have the opportunity to serve this country. Without a doubt, the service changed who I was. At 16, I was a very lost individual. I do not say this disrespectfully, but I did not grow up in a good home. My parents were divorced before I was 2. I ended up living with my father, and later at 15 with my mother. Both my parents had their individual issues. My dad was abusive, and my mother, who had spent time in prison, was an alcoholic and a drug user, and did not have any rules for me. During my time living with my mother, I took advantage of who she was. I hung out with the wrong friend group, skipped school routinely, and eventually failed 10th grade. I was going down a very dangerous path. During my second 10th grade year, I met Fred Wagner. He was my gym teacher and also the wrestling coach for my high school. He became my mentor, stepped in and started holding me accountable where my parents didn't. He helped open my eyes that the path I was on was leading to failure. He was the first step in my change as a person, and thankfully, I was receptive to his mentorship. That leads me to the summer right before my 12th grade year. That is when I walked into my local recruiting office, walked in the Marine Corps office specifically, and started the most important journey I would ever have. I don't say this lightly, but who I was before the military does not deserve the life I am blessed with today. I entered boot camp in July of 1992 and never looked back. I 100% credit the military with who I am today, even through the trials, tests, tribulations, and often painful, difficult, challenging experiences that often made me want to quit. Through all this, I grew and developed myself into a person who puts 100% into everything I do, even if I don't find it important. I have lifelong friends who will forever, and will forever have a family of fellow veterans who will have my back no matter what service they were in. I offer this small anecdote that hallmarks my personality and the personality of many service members, which will hopefully help me highlight why I'm so honored to have served. In 2006, I was in the middle of the Jordanian desert, working and sleeping in a tent in constant windstorms. About 3 days in, we were told because of conflict between Israel and Lebanon, our unit was being assigned the role of evacuating U.S. citizens out of Beirut. I was assigned to taking a 30-man hodgepodge team of maintenance, supply, finance, and administrative Marines on a journey of a lifetime. We were flown by helicopter back to the ship, which was docked in Amman, Jordan. I was brought in and given documentation to request whatever ammunition and weapons I thought were appropriate, and we headed to the civilian airport to be picked up by a C-130 and flown to a British base in Cyprus before flying into Lebanon. One of my favorite moments is pushing something that looked like a shopping cart loaded with ammunition through a secure portion of the airport with a bunch of bewildered Marines who were clearly nervous and out of their element. We landed in Cyprus and immediately started planning and organizing. Again, this was a random group of people who knew each other but didn't work together. On day 2, we loaded to a CH-47 with a minigun on back and were flown into the embassy compound in Beirut. Over the next week or so, this band of misfits drove daily in an armored convoy to the evacuation site, slept under the stars every night, and provided aid and comfort for over 12,000 evacuees. Reorganized, made the process more efficient, and ran security patrols around the embassy at night before an actual infantry unit was flown in because of the threat of attack by Hezbollah. It was one of the proudest moments in my Marine Corps career because it highlights that service to our country was all about. You learn to overcome obstacles, lack of training, and threats of harm to take care of your fellow citizens. In the news article written after, I was interviewed, and these were my words. Quote, "These Marines came from 20 different military occupational specialties, and this wasn't their primary job. They performed the second largest evacuation in American history with as much success as you can have. All in all, this was the most impressed I have been with Marines in my 15 years of service." Bain said that the skill of the Marines became evident when they began to process twice as many people as their procedures called for. Stretched over a 10-day period, more than 1,000 people were able to escape to safety earlier than planned. He said the Marines' dedication to mission was never more apparent than when they learned they would be returning to their home ship, the USS Iwo Jima. People did not want to leave, or the Marines did not want to leave because they felt responsible. They wanted to make sure the mission was complete. This was an amazing group of Marines that were given the opportunity to use their initiative and do what they were asked to do, and they did more. I have many more stories that I could share, but this small experience, along with the simplicity of finding normalcy nightly with a group of Marines who were tired, scared, and out of their element, but dedicated to accomplishing the mission, is all that needs to be said. I'm still friends with many of those I have served with. I consider them the family I didn't have as a child. They have my back, and I will have their back if they need it. Once a Marine, always a Marine. But truthfully, once a service member, always a service member. Doesn't matter what branch you're all, we're all brothers and sisters. That's why sometimes I have difficulty responding when people say or go and come and thank me for my service, because honestly, I would like to thank them for letting me serve this great country, which completely changed who I was and made me the person I am today. I will leave you with this hopeful word of wisdom. In general, everyone is offered the same information. It's whether you listen to that information, take it in, accept it, and adjust to it. It's never too late to make a change. I learned that lesson. It will be hard, but it's never too late. My change came from a coach, my opportunity to serve, and my willingness to be part of the process. Again, thank you for this opportunity to speak. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, Captain Davis. Please join me in another round of applause. Please welcome the MJROTC as they perform an exhibition.
Morning, Brenham High School. Cadet, second to Lieutenant Williams.
Please help me in thanking the MJROTC for their wonderful exhibition.
Symphonic band members Aiden Keller and Garrison Coven will now perform taps. Although Veterans Day is for those veterans who are living, we take a moment now to honor the heroes who have given their lives for our country and our freedoms. As the somber notes fill the air, they remind us of the sacrifices made by our veterans and the honor they deserve. Taps invokes deep reflection and gratitude, creating a moment of unity and respect among attendees. Taps serves as a powerful reminder of the bravery and dedication of our military heroes. It is a heartfelt way to pay homage and ensure that their legacy is never forgotten. Please stand, and as a sign of respect for those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, please refrain from applauding at the conclusion of taps. Thank you, Aiden and Garrison. You may all be seated. As we conclude our program, may we leave you with this reminder. While Veterans Day is an important occasion to recognize and honor the sacrifices made by our servicemen and women, we must remember that our gratitude should extend beyond just one day of the year. Veterans dedicate their lives to serving and protecting our country, and their courage, commitment, and sacrifices deserve to be acknowledged every day. Whether through supporting veterans organizations, offering help to those in need, or simply expressing appreciation. It's essential that we keep the spirit of Veterans Day alive throughout the entire year. Their contributions are integral to the freedoms we enjoy, and honoring them should be a constant reminder of their lasting impact. That is the end of the BHS Student Council Veterans Day program. Thank you to all of the veterans in attendance, and once again, thank you for your service. Also, the BHS Student Council would like to thank Ms. Stark for all of her help and for helping us put this program together. Have a blessed day. Students, please return to your third period class to retrieve your belongings before transitioning to your fourth period.